Hello, and welcome to the Velvet Revolution. Um, I have absolutely no idea what episode we're on, which is a good sign, I think, because it means we've done loads. And yeah, so that is as professional an intro as I'm going to be able to do this morning, I think. Welcome to anyone that is listening. I am Ben Rice, and I am joined as ever by Mr. Dave Noble. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. I love the fact that we have a little, so anyone that's listening, if you're wondering what our process is of doing this, I would encourage anyone, I don't know, this could go two ways, anyone to start a podcast because
Yeah.
I'm only just starting to get used to being comfortable with actually using the term podcast. I was so anti that whole thing of like, no, it's a broadcast, it's a transmission, which I still prefer to use that term, because podcast for me, it's in the mix with all the other stuff that's, come out of this whole tech realm of like, yeah, podcasts and AI and it's all this sort of I just find it really like, oh, it's annoying, like influencers and all that.
Okay.
But yeah, I am influential, because I've said it before. I have a huge amount of influence on changing people's lives for the better. Not because I've got some God complex like some people. It's because of me collaborating and doing a little bit of input, and then the people that I'm collaborating with put their input in, and we make really good transformations and create change for the better. So I am an influencer in that sense, but you know what I mean in the context of
You're a healthy influencer. You've done lots of amazing work on
uh,
yourself, and then you've shared that amazing work with other people. So yeah, you're the opposite of an influencer because you're not.
yeah, there
It's
you
no.
go.
There's no shallowness to it. It's all about depth.
Thank you, Ben. You just really helped me out there. Thank you. I need you to do my press. Anyway, and when we get to that point, where's I going with that? Oh yeah. So if anyone's wondering, like, is it easy to do what we do? I find it pretty cruisy, man. You just hit record and see what happens, right? That's what we do. Now I've got that confidence and experience, which has been garnished, is that the right word? Cultivated by
Hmm.
going into lots of situations, not really knowing what's going to happen and just
Yeah,
going with the flow. That is where I've gained that incredible depth of uh, skill and experience, right?
and
It's not,
selling photocopiers. I think that's quite a big part of it.
yes. Oh dear, yeah, and navigating the streets of many places, dotted around the world. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
being
yeah.
on your own, the art of survival, etc. Winging it, aka
Hmm.
winging it. But you know, can anyone just wing it? Can anyone just press record? Anyway, my point is that if anyone's wondering, do we plan these? Do we, how do we? Literally, me and Ben just jump on. Go, you all right? How you doing? You all right? Yeah. Do you know what? Do you want to talk about anything? No, no. Should we just hit record? Yeah. Bang. And always, I'm the one that hits record. I always bang record and take Ben off guard. So he's got to sort of suddenly get his head in the game, like pronto. So if anyone's wondering if it's a little bit loose, but that's just the way we like it, right?
Yep, yep, yep. A free flowing conversation.
A free for all. It literally is. All right.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, I feel a little bit ropey.
Hmm.
There's loads of spluttering and people spluttering and coughing and there's a lot of that going around. Time of the year.
Definitely.
Yeah. By the time this comes out, it'll probably be, I don't know, near Christmas or something, probably. I don't know. But there's a lot of spluttering and yeah. Do you remember Grot Bag?
What sport got bags into this?
Because I just had an image of what people look like. What's that? What's the green thing called
Croc.
on, on Grot Bag? Is it Grot Bag?
Are you talking about Pink Windmill? Are you talking about Rod Hull and
Nah,
Emu? What's Grot?
nah. it was Saturday night, Saturday morning TV. There used to be this little green snozzly.
Oh, the
Um,
snot. Gilbert the alien.
that's it.
I thought you were going into. Do you remember Grot Bags
Yeah,
and
no,
and
that,
pink and the witch that was in the pink windmill
yeah,
and
yeah,
God I'll
yeah,
name you. I thought
yeah.
you were going down that trip. Yeah.
No, I had that. I don't know why the two. I thought that they were on the same show, but it's not, is it? What's the one you said? What was it called?
Gilbert the alien.
Gilbert the Alien,
Yeah, and he was
right?
full of snot.
Yeah, it just has snot flying out of
Mm,
every
mm.
orifice. Didn't he have like multi nostrils? Like he had a
Yeah, I
few.
feel like he had loads of things coming out of his head.
Yeah, and there was snot flying out of all of it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's where I'm at in a minute. Not that's not where I'm at. That's where everyone else is at. And I
Okay.
think I've caught a bit of I've been caught in the crossfire, some of that flying sneasel and snot, and I feel a little bit ropey. But um, other than that, I feel quite quite chuffed. I feel quite if that's the right word for it. I feel why do I feel chuffed? Don't know. You know, woke up, sun's shining, um, blue sky. Yeah, life's all right, you know.
Yeah.
Perspective.
Perspective. Nice.
As the world's falling apart all around us, I'm feeling pretty chuffed. Yeah. How are you?
How am I? I'm I'm just falling apart, I think.
So you're falling apart with the world.
Yeah, yeah. I am representing the world in physical form. What's going on for me? It's yeah, going back to work after a long period of time out is is not as easy as I thought it would be.
Mm.
And yeah, it's taken a period of adjustment which I wasn't expecting. And one of the things that has happened is my levels of stress go up. And when my stress goes up, it sits in my neck and my shoulders. And I've had this before where I get this pain in my neck and it goes all the way down my right hand side and into my right hand. And at this moment in time, I have now got like a completely sort of frozen shoulder.
Sure, you're not just had a stroke, and I'm
Yeah,
like, you need
that's
to go to hospital.
yeah. I mean, I can't smell burnt toast, so I'm guessing it's not a stroke. But I'm just yeah, like my right arm I can hardly lift, and it's going a bit. You know, my hand's gone a bit numb, and yeah, it's just agony, and it's really annoying because the pain, the crux of the pain is sitting deep in the sort of pit of my shoulder blade, and so the moment I lie down to go to sleep, it's just throbbing. So I can sort of do about an hour's sleep, and then I wake up and I have to sort of adjust, and yeah, it's agony. So yeah, I'm just feeling like I sort of got to a point at the end of the summer where everything was like sort of I don't know, felt like everything was with the diabetes diagnosis and all of that. It felt like I
Oh
was sort of
God, you
coming
so
together.
so rewind just to only when did it all kick off? It was early, just at the beginning of summer.
Mm,
Yeah, um, you you had your operation,
yeah,
then you got the diagnosis for,
diabetes.
and now this.
Yeah,
Man, you've been through it.
yeah. It just feels like it never ends at the moment, and I'm hoping. I don't know. It just yeah. I'm trying to be all things must pass. It like trying to be quite zen about it, but it doesn't. Yeah, this hurts and it's really sore. And yeah, it's making. I went to pick the kettle up this morning, and I just couldn't lift the kettle with
Oh
my
my
right arm.
God,
So
man.
yeah, it's just another thing, and I'll get through it, and then it will be something else.
There's two ways of looking at it, right? It's the way I see it, right? Doesn't mean it's right, it's just the way. This is what I think, right? There's two ways of looking at this. You're bracing
Yeah,
yourself,
yeah. Here we
aren't
go.
you?
Doctor Dave is in the house.
Um, so no, it's just the way I see things, man. Doesn't mean it's right. So one way of looking at it is y- wear and tear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, your metaphorically speaking, your garden gate is rusty
Mm-hmm.
and it's creaky. Sometimes it's well, it's falling off. You know, the garden gates that are literally hanging on. by a thread.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying that's you yet, but maybe, one of your hinges has gone. And there's always that token bit of wood, the panel
Yeah.
that sort of just keeps hanging off. I had that on my old where I used to live, and I kept having to bang it back on. It kept falling off. And then I thought I might just get a new gate. Um, so wear and tear,
Yeah.
because I've got wear and tear. It's unless you live in Los Angeles. Sorry, anyone in Los Angeles. I'm just on observation. Unless you live somewhere like that where you try and defy the natural order of life and defy wear and tear and try and reverse it. Is that being, am I being unfair to the city of Los Angeles by saying that?
No, I don't think so. I think there's a
No, what
stereotype
I need to
of,
cover myself on this. I love Los Angeles. I love the people of Los Angeles, beautiful city. There's a bit of a culture in certain parts of the world where, you know, they're trying to defy the age thing.
hmm
I'm sorry to anyone I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. We're going to keep that in. We're not taking it out. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean by that. It's
yeah,
not just there. It's in London as well. It's
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah.
It's everywhere. It's actually here as well where I live.
hmm
Some people, and it's not judgment. It's an observation. Some people try and defy the natural law of life, like
Yeah.
plants, like animals, humans. We all have this lifespan, and we've just got to accept that that's what it is. And to deny death and age is to deny that, right?
hmm
Said that before. Sorry if I've offended anyone, didn't mean to. Um, so there's that. So it's either just accept that you're falling apart, mate,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
okay.
And at some point you might need a walking aid
Yeah.
or something, right?
Or
Or
an arm lifter. I
yeah,
don't know what that is.
or oh yeah, an arm lifter, like a sling
Yeah, yeah.
that goes
Yeah, yeah.
upwards, yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
got the bar from
Yeah.
your waist all the way out, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that, or there's more. There's a underlying. There's something. There's something going on, maybe, that's causing these symptoms, and
Yeah.
it's could be mind, body, spirit interlinked.
Yes.
Possibly. I'm not a doctor. I'm not, you know, I'm just putting it out there.
I think for me it's the latter. For me, I think it's I am yeah, I'm in a place where I know I'm in a period of transition.
Yeah.
I know things are changing
Hmm.
and that is manifesting itself in me sort of being yeah, I think I've yeah, physically not great. Like I think I've ignored the body because I spend so much time in my head.
Mm.
And I was talking to someone the other day actually, and there was he'd had it pointed out to him that it was like he was Peter Pan. That it was like he was ignoring the fact that at some point he was going to get old and he was going to die.
Mm.
And I think I've always had that sort of idea in my head of yeah, you know, I'm going to be 50 next year, and in my head I'm like I'm going to live till I'm 100, so I'm not even halfway yet, and you know I might not live to 100 and I might be over halfway already, but it feels like a long way off still, that sort of
Yeah,
end point.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so actually, I think, and that goes for everything I do in life because it's like a kind of, well, it's okay because I can do it tomorrow and, or I'll start being good tomorrow. And I
Hmm.
think with the latest sort of, with getting diabetes, for instance, it was like,
Hmm.
well, I can have this tub of ice cream today because tomorrow I'll start dieting,
Yeah.
or tomorrow I'll go for a run or I'll do some yoga
Hmm.
or I'll do something healthy. And actually, I think what's happening at the moment is we, for me, I can't keep waiting. I can't keep saying, right, okay, well, next year I'll do this
Hmm.
because then it will be the right time. There's
Hmm.
never going to be a right time.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel at the moment. Is that my body is kind of sort of fighting where my head is going. It's like my head's already there,
Yeah,
right? I need to do this, I need to do that, and my body's going, no, slow down. Like
yeah,
my body's not there yet.
yeah,
So yeah, I think this is just another part of that where it's like actually I need to do the physical work to get to where to catch up with where my head's at. Does that make
yeah,
sense?
yeah. It does. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's all interlinked in a way, isn't it? So
Yeah.
mind, body, spirit, or
Yeah.
mind, body, soul, whatever you want to call it. And you know, it's really helpful if they're all singing to each other on from the same page, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
In unison.
Yeah.
And if one's not, this is my point. This is what I was sort of suggesting. Maybe is that you could be fit. You could go to the gym, man. You can flex it. And look, I had a bit of a gripe. I shouldn't. Again, I apologise. I shouldn't have brought demographics or geographical places into it. But it's cultural. It's cultural. That's what I meant to say. There's certain cultures in certain places that are more favourable of what I was suggesting and saying, which is that you can run million miles a day. You can have the right this, the right that. You can have the right look. You can all that aesthetic stuff, the outside stuff. You can look amazing, all you like. But if your brain, if your noodle ain't in the right place, if your heart's not in the right place, then it doesn't really matter too much, in my opinion. You can be as fit as a fiddle, but if your brain ain't functioning and dialed in the right way. Now, is it possible that if you do all the body stuff and all the aesthetic exterior stuff and make all that look lovely and beautiful, does that automatically make your spirit, your heart, your soul, and your brain, your mindset, your attitude, does that automatically create the same result? I'm not sure about that.
No, I'm going to
Mm,
say no.
okay.
I
Uh,
I think that I think it's about doing the work joined up. I
yes.
think it's being a bit of everything.
Yeah.
It's not an all or nothing. And I know
Yeah.
that's where I
Yeah.
exist.
Yeah.
It's like I've got to do everything at
Yeah.
once.
And I'm not saying that people, what I was saying earlier, that those people in certain places are doing all the fluffy, frilly bells and whistles, sparkly stuff to make them all look beautiful, and then they're dead inside. I'm not saying that, okay? But is it possible that that can happen? That you can chase all that stuff? I mean, we talk about this stuff all the time, man. We talk about it all the time.
I think, yeah, and I think it's about, yeah, we've talked about how uh money or fame or beauty or any of these things, if we put all our eggs into one basket
Mm,
and think that that one thing is going to pay off,
mm, yeah,
I think it very rarely does.
yeah,
So I think we've got to invest in a number of things. I think
yeah.
we've got to give our sort of equal weighting to all aspects of our lives rather than,
Mm,
like how often do you think people, it's like I'm going to concentrate on work at this moment in time and then I'm going to have a relationship, or I'm going to have a relationship and I'm not going to worry about work. It's like I was listening to something this week about that idea that if you, however you are at work or however you are at home, is going to transfer into the one and the other.
mm,
It's not
yeah,
either or.
yeah,
You can't separate your life out like that. If you are living a life with good values and strong sense of self,
yeah.
then that's going to be the same in a romantic relationship as it is in a professional relationship.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And if you're selling yourself short in any of those areas,
mm-hmm.
then you're gonna feel a bit, I don't know, a bit icky. I think a bit. Oh, I need a shower after doing that.
Bit grubby.
Bit grubby, yeah,
Bit
yeah. You're not
like what's that alien called again?
Gilbert, yeah,
It's like you've had a Gilbert
yeah,
shower.
yeah, yeah. It's like I'm not being true to myself, and now I'm covered in snot. Yeah.
I'm feeling a bit snotty. Okay, we've just done an episode, so thanks for all listening. And there we go. An episode on mind, body, and spirit. How
Yeah,
important it is to have them all talking to each other and singing in harmony. Okay,
is yeah. If anyone was unsure or didn't think we weren't just recording these off the hoof, I think maybe they've just realised. So yeah,
there we go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. Okay, let's get into it, shall we?
yeah. What do
Um,
you? What letter are we on?
you can't even reach the
I can't. I
freaking thing.
can't. I'm having to lift my hand up to
Oh
get to the
my
mouse.
God, that's
Right. I
hilarious.
think we are on D. Are we on D?
I don't actually know.
Yeah, we did. We
Can you?
did C last week,
What was
and
it?
I want to say compulsive.
Was it?
Wasn't that last week?
I don't know. I've been quite busy, Ben.
Me too. Like this is just it. Like work's taken over, and I'm really conscious of that.
um,
So
okay,
I'm looking at the book, the encyclopedia at this moment in time, and in the C has got two letters highlighted in red, which means we've definitely done C, and D
okay,
hasn't. It's only got one. It's got deflection, which we did
okay.
way back when we started.
Yeah, you're right. We did. I've just looked on the files that we recorded, and it's compulsive as the last one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So we've done or. A was or, B was boundaries, C was compulsive. So we're on D. Did you choose compulsive?
I think you chose it.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, because we started differently, didn't we? You started on A because I
Or,
started on A last time.
so it's your turn to pick.
Yeah.
Sure about
Yep.
that? Okay then. Before we get going, actually,
Go on.
some dude called Paul.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Messaged the TVR headquarters
Yeah.
and and said that they've been Paul's been listening quite a bit in his word,
Nice.
in his words. And he slung us some options for X, Y, Z, which
Oh,
I
cool.
I recall we were calling out,
Yeah, yeah.
weren't we? We were like, help us out, people. And he's come through. So have you got the list up?
Have I got the list up?
Yeah. What were you
Yes.
playing? Was you just playing something then?
I was.
No. Right. Put your phone away, teacher.
I was just looking at our website to see if the stuff had come up, but it
All
and
right.
it started
Okay.
playing stuff.
So look, X, could you please, is that all right?
Yeah, I don't know if I can type.
Oh, for God's sake. Right, let me do it. Let me do it. I'm gonna help
Right,
you out. I've got
X rated. We only got two for X, yeah.
yeah, so right, so
Put
Paul's X entry is Xmas. Now
oh,
I'll type the reason
God.
he's put after it connection or disconnection question
Mm,
mark. Now I like that. Now look, Xmas isn't necessarily, in theme with, words that we've been using and that are on the list. However, we're short on X's, right? So I'm happy to use this one. And I think it's a really good one because it is in its own, I mean, it's in its own sense, it kind of has enough in there I think you could actually go to the book of words and enter Xmas as an actual emotion. Because for everyone that has Xmas in their lives, which is pretty much everyone, I'll be amazed if some people just don't know what it is. Um, you either love it or you hate it. It's a real divide. It's Marmite. It
yeah,
really is.
yeah,
Right. So I think it'd be a really good one to cover. Xmas, connection or disconnection. And I really would love to deep dive into that. I think a lot of people will be able to relate to what we get into with that. So are you right with that?
yeah, yeah. I put it on.
Oh, nice one. Um, this is the beginning of the end, where we slowly start to go off piece with this whole thing. We'll be covering words that are just so random. But I kind of like that, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's great.
Um, why is yearn?
Yearn.
And
Okay.
then Paul's written after that, a desire to do.
Okay. We have already got yearn there.
Okay, so it's good. All
Yeah.
right, so we got it. So cheers for that anyway, dude. Right, and then Z is Zen, which after that they put meditation.
Nice.
All right, so
Okay.
nice one, Paul. Thank you very much. There
Thanking
we
you.
go. I feel like we're gonna at some point be picking
Definitely Xmas. That's a
definitely.
great
Well,
idea.
I think definitely all of them because we ain't got
Mm.
a lot of X, Y, Zs, right?
No.
Okay, great stuff. All right, let's move on. So you're saying it's me. I've got to pick, yeah?
No.
Oh,
I'm glad you were listening to
oh,
that bit.
you're picking.
I'm picking.
Crack on.
Okay. Right. Okay. Do you, I'm going to read them all out because there's a lot of D's.
Go for it.
Okay. Dependent, depressed, delirious, deranged, denial, deprived, dishonest, disillusion, disloyal, disobedient, disrespectful, disempowered, disengaged, discourteous, decisive, disciplined, destructive, dread, despair, delusional, dehumanization, disappointment, dismissive, discouragement, disconnection, deflection, which is what we've already done, discontent, deceit, defensive, defiant. That's a lot. Right. Okay. Where do I feel? I said that we sort of
Debilitated. I feel like debilitated is
yeah,
where
that's
you're at,
definitely
isn't
where
it?
my right hand side is. Like we said,
Decrepit, is that a word?
decrepit. Yep. I
Yeah.
don't know if we got even have we got decrepit on there? We haven't. There you go. There's another one. Yeah, that we subconsciously pick something from what's happened this week. But
Mm.
I'm very consciously, I'm really drawn to either dishonest or deceit.
I mean, that's pretty much the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Dovetail.
because that is yeah.
Why? Why?
Be-
Let's. Why?
because that's been the theme of this week.
Oh,
I'm
okay. Well, are you going to pick one?
Go on then. I'm going to pick dishonest.
Okay. I've just got a list up myself. I'm gonna redline it.
Okay.
Save you the discomfort
Oh, thank you.
of getting your little T-Rex arm to reach over and do
uh,
the keyboard. Right, hang on a minute. Where's it gone? Where is dishonest? There it is.
you got it.
Yeah, and that is pretty much in bed with deceit anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
So we've got to be mindful if we do that, that we want to spread that out if we do cover them both. Okay, then, there we go. So, Mr. Rice, why?
Why?
Why? You said that there's a lot of that going on this week, but what I don't follow your trail of thought of that. I don't know what's been going on that causes you to feel like that.
I, I am, as I said, I'm back at work, and it's a really strange place to be. Uh, in that I'm finding a level of dishonesty in the way that people are interacting with each other.
Disingenuous?
Disingenuous, yeah. And I I've been looking a lot at how I would what values that I would like to lead with. So if I am trying to establish some ideas or some values that I think I live by, and definitely in the past couple of years, then honesty is a big one for me. Like, I think there needs to be a level of honesty and truth to how you live. And if you are dishonest and are living a lie, then it only causes harm. It's a really difficult place to be, I think. And I've finding adults who aren't willing or reflective enough to understand where they are and where they're sitting, to be honest with what's going on.
So you're talking about adults,
Yeah,
not young people that you, because stereo, 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 stereotypical, stereo. Oh, I can't. What's going on? Why can't I think the word?
stereotypical. You said it.
Stereotypical.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry, I just had a bit of a wobble there. Stereotypical young person. I thought you could be talking about them in the setting that you're at, related to your work, right? They're just the sort of like, the little maverick rebels,
yeah,
but you're talking about the adults.
yeah. I mean, I've been reflecting on this a lot as I've gone back into the world of work. And obviously, my position is such that I probably have more to do with the adults and making the adults uh, gel and work as a team than I do the young people, because the young people, on the whole, are being taught by the teachers who
The
are in
elders. Yeah.
the school, and I'm not just, but I'm sitting in an office and I'm the head of school, and I'm trying to make it run properly. And I've had this conversation with a colleague this week about, he will do anything for these young people, like we all would. Like, we will forgive them. Like, this kid had come in this week and they were cold, so they'd bought a blanket from home. And it was like, okay, right, like, it's not uniform. We're not walking around with a blanket all day because it's just going to turn into a thing and turn into a bit of an argument because the kid was like, oh, I want my blanket, and it's
Is
like,
he walking around what like with it around like a shawl, like a cape, like
no,
like a
just wrapped up in this blanket because they were cold and feeling a bit vulnerable and whatever.
head under it, sort of thing?
Yeah, yeah, just like, I'm going to disappear under my blanket. I've brought a bit of
Yeah.
home from.
Conceptual barrier. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, well, we no, we're going to put the blanket away, and we're at school now. So we're going to be, we're here to do some work and learn. So let's put the blanket away. It turned into a bit of an argument. And then the members of staff then had a disagreement about how this one kid had been dealt with compared to another one, and the things that have been put in place. And it's constantly we're constantly trying to, work out what's going on for these young people when they've arrived, what's happened to them before they've arrived with us, what's their context. And you've got to take all this into account and try and be as fair as possible. You'd love to be able to treat them all exactly the same. That's
Mm.
how life works, isn't it? You'd like to have that consistency. This is the rule, you've all got to do it.
Yeah.
But our kids, it's just not going to work like that, because they're all coming from such disparate, broken homes that you've got to be understanding of each kid's case. And and this member of staff, he'd worked, he works really hard to make sure that, that each kid gets what they need. And then he ended up having an argument with one of the adults who disagreed with what he'd done. And what I was trying to explain to him was, as we sort of grow as and become more responsible for other people in an institution, we quite often, you know, I've said this before, like the kids are easy, it's the adults that are difficult. And really, for me, what I've sort of dawned upon me in the past couple of weeks is, yes, they're adults, but they're human beings. They're just a bit bigger than the little ones that we deal with. And so we will give the little ones uh a whole lot of understanding and a whole lot of like, yeah, this is going on for you, this has happened for you. Whereas we won't do that for adults. It's like, no, you've gone past a certain age now. You're not cute and little, and you know, you haven't got all this stuff going on. You're an adult, you've got to deal with it yourself. And I think that's what I've realized is part of my job is to remember that we're working with just a building full of human beings, whether they're small or big, and they've all got stuff going on. Like how, you know, like I don't know if they've had an argument with their partner that morning, or an argument with one of their kids, or you know, something's kicked off. Like, you know, they've found out that a relative has got some, you know, end of life condition. You know, all this stuff could be going on for them, but because they're adults, it's like, no, you got to deal with it now. You're an adult, and I just don't think life is that clean cut or clear cut. So, I think we don't give ourselves that understanding that, you know, like we've both talked about recovery and doing the work and being in a good place, but you started that in your mid 30s, and I probably didn't start until my early to mid 40s. So there's there's not a sort of right, okay, you finished school now, you're 16, that's it, you're okay, or you're 18, you've done a bit of college, done some A levels, whatever, and now you know what the world's all about, and you've got to do with it on your own. And I think that's where I've been this week is that sort of that lack of honesty in understanding of other people's conditions.
Mm.
And maybe, and I often feel like it's seen as a weakness. You're letting people get away with it because they're adults, and you're not giving them enough sort of boundary and enough strength because you're letting them off stuff. And I feel if you treat everyone with honesty and with kindness, they were the two words that I came up with.
Yeah.
If you treat people with that level of respect,
Mhm.
then I think you're going to get good people. And I
Mm.
think if you are dishonest and unkind, then you're going to end up with bad people. There you go. I've ranted there for a good 5 minutes because it's really been bothering me this week.
No, it's good. I've really enjoyed listening to it. Thank you. What came up for me? There's a lot that came up actually. There's a saying, know yourself, know everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that, people, for a moment. All right. Know yourself, know everyone. What does that actually mean? So, excuse me. I really understand that, and it really helps me. To understand everyone, I need to understand me, right? Yeah, and that's kind of what you're concluding. You've made a significant realization. I think you've gone away, done a lot of self-examination over your
Mm-hmm.
time that you've been away, and you've gone back in to the crime scene.
And I can see all the bodies with the tape round them. That's all.
Yeah,
It's just like
yeah,
loads of
yeah.
those on the
That's it.
floor.
That's what
Yeah,
it's like. That's what it's like.
yeah,
That's why I use
yeah,
that term, right? So
yeah.
look, as you know, I work with a lot of young people, right? Now they get extracted, maybe it's by me or by a team. We extract them out of the crime scene
Mm-hmm.
of where everything plays out, all the dysfunction, all the madness, and we put them somewhere to do what I just said you did. I know I've done it.
Hmm.
that creating that space, a safe dwelling to feel comfortable, have the time and the space to be able to, do some work, to work on
Yeah.
myself, right? To work on ourselves. So these young people do that, right? Now, this is sort of like quite significant actually, because young people, I'm talking about young people, they're doing
Hmm.
it, right? So they're doing the work, they're doing this self examination, such a young age, that some grown adults never accomplish in their lifetime. They'll never do it, ever. Evident. So these young people do that, and then they come out, and then I help them navigate the transition from being extracted out of the crime scene to a safe haven to be able to do that work, whether that's within a specialist treatment centre for young people, or whether it's, whatever that uh, process is, that I then catch them when they come out of it and help them transition back in to life. Now, some of them go back into education, some of them go back into the family home, some of them might go into early work situations to begin their
Hmm.
career, right? Or university, whatever. And one of the most common things that comes up is exactly what we're talking about, which is when you get to know yourself through self examination and you go back to the crime scene, aka life, and you reintegrate, you suddenly realize that you see all the things that you've just worked on with yourself in everyone else play out. But the
Hmm.
difference is that you've moved up a level and they haven't, unless they've done the work. Now, that doesn't make you better than them. It just is what it is. You've evolved and they've not yet. And it's challenging. So you know yourself, you know everyone. It's not a judgment. It's not a judgment. It's just your experience. And it's illuminating. You're just seeing everything for what it is because you've just done the work. You've gone inward, you've done some work on some, a lot of psychological stuff, and you just see that psychological stuff play out in well, you're talking about your workplace, so you're seeing it in your workplace. Could be anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think that goes back to what I was saying.
yeah,
I can't remember if we did this before or after, but that comparison between whatever you are at work is how you are at home.
yeah,
You might think there is a divide, but I think there is
mm,
whatever however you choose to be
yeah,
doesn't, unless you're some sort of incredible
mm,
split personality person, but
mm,
you're taking whatever you have at home into work and whatever you have at work into home.
exactly. So another way of putting it, what I just said, really short, really quick, concise way of reframing that is conscious, unconscious.
Right.
So when you become more conscious, you realize how unconscious everything else is,
Hmm.
right? And again, that's not a judgment and that's not making you better than anyone else. It's just is what it is, right? So when you become more conscious in your life, you naturally become more in line and more in touch with um, your emotional landscape that you're in for yourself and for other people. You just see everything play out. Know yourself, know other people, and like it's really important. You don't want to be one of them people that sits around at a dinner party going, being that twat that I think I've been that twat. It's part of my journey is to sort of I've suddenly got more consciousness and know myself better, and then I start passing judgment on everyone else's bullshit. You don't want to be one of them people, and I know you're not. But calling out people, at what point do you just I don't know. You could draw from a lot of the other episodes we've covered on many, many angles of what you might have to navigate in
Yeah.
what we're talking about. You've got to have some compassion, you've got to have some empathy in there, you've got to have a lot of patience, you've got to have endurance, tolerance. We covered that. Um, there's so much that we need to practice. Um, because it's easy when you extract yourself out of the crime scene, the madness of you know, the insanity of the world that we live in, because there is some insanity in the world we live in. There's also a lot of serenity in the world we live in. But when you extract yourself out of the insanity of life as it plays out, and you put yourself in a serene place where you can just do some solitude and self-exploration, you know, when you put yourself back into that mix of insanity, it's it's easy to do the work when you're in the serenity bit, but the real work takes place when you put yourself back out into into the world.
Mm.
And it's hard, man.
It's really hard.
It's
I
hard
know.
because, yeah,
Yes.
personalities start to really start popping up,
Yeah.
There's that saying, principles and personalities. Now, in theory, it should always be principles before personalities,
Mm-hmm.
but very rarely do you see that displayed anywhere. Look around us,
Mm.
it's personalities before principles a lot of the time, man. So maybe that's something that's been bugging you. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. I think you're just processing it, aren't you? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think what's become really apparent for me is that I spent 4 months, like you said, in a serene place. It was my sofa, and I was under a blanket, and there was a lot of safety. So I could I could exist in this bubble, and I could have all these uh, great ideas about how I want to be and how I want to live, and then to go back into a world where it's like you said, it's like a car crash. You're back on the hamster wheel, and it's like
Mm,
this is suddenly taking up all this power, all this energy, all this serenity that I thought I had. And weirdly, I thought that I had bought up enough or built up enough reserves of positive energy. Thought I had a force field. I was walking back into a place, walking back into the world, and I was going to be better, stronger, because I'd had all this time. And actually, in a way, it's made the force field has got thinner because I'm not used to being in that world again. It's like it's affecting me a lot more. It's like this is having more impact on me
mm.
because I haven't got to that point again where you're just like, don't care. Well, not don't care, but well, I think it must be, otherwise it wouldn't have come out of my mouth so quickly. But it's almost that I can just leave it at the door. I can create this persona where it's not really me,
Yeah,
and I can be indifferent
yeah,
and not get affected by it all.
yeah,
And actually, I've walked back into the world and gone, this is really tough. this
yeah.
is this is affecting me, and I didn't think it would.
I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, I'd use the word raw,
Yeah, yeah, that's a good word.
right? Raw. So let me tell you a little story.
Okay, I'll settle down. I'll get myself a cup of cocoa.
Yeah, 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 right. So rewind over 2014, so it was over 10 years ago, decade ago. I entered a process of treatment for trauma reduction,
Okay,
right? Yeah. PTSD in my nervous system. I had a lot of it in there,
right.
right? Um, and it's been reduced significantly. There's still residual bits and pieces that sometimes bubble up when I get triggered, but significant amounts of it was reduced um, through that treatment that I had, and it was a blocker treatment I had with some incredible people um, who were incredibly well experienced and qualified to deal with such matters, right? And it was a beautiful process. It was very challenging, very difficult as it was beautiful and rewarding. Okay. Um, and I, like you, had extracted myself out of, I took myself away from the insanity of the world that was playing out around me and put myself into a safe haven of stillness to prepare myself to do that process. And I also allowed myself some time post treatment to recover to the best of my ability.
Hmm.
And I thought that I was good to go. I felt really empowered by the process. You know, I was aware that I felt raw, but I didn't know how raw I felt until I went back into life. And I remember being at a gala ball. Um, it was a gala being held by a charity that I was associated with at that time. And there's a lot of people there. And it was like a black tie do,
Hmm.
lots of champagne, and it was very fancy. It was in London. There was press there. There was lots of people there being seen. Cameras were there. It was all of that. It was very sort of that sort of event, and I was there. Um, and it became evident that I wasn't ready to be there.
Right.
Um, people, people, how can I put this? People were um, snotting on me. I'm gonna bring that alien back into it. What's his name?
Okay.
Gilbert.
Gilbert, yeah.
Gilbert the alien. Right now, I don't think that people mean to do it because I'm going to bring in disingenuous, maybe, dishonest, maybe, but I think the word that really keeps popping up for me is unconscious. Like,
Okay.
I'm surrounding myself with unconscious people. Again, not a judgment, it's just it is what it is. I've become really dialed in to a stronger sense of authenticity to my true nature through that process. Yeah. Um, Truly, and on it goes to this day, I'm living like that. And that was the turning point for me when I went through that process of really getting close to a real sense of who I am, without anything to, no blanket required, just me in the world. This is who I am. Yeah. And in hindsight, I wasn't ready to um, put myself into that mix so soon.
Hmm.
Um, and I actually left. There was an incident that happened where I got into an altercation with someone who was very drunk,
Hmm.
and I created a boundary. I had to say, I don't need to listen to this drivel coming, this snot coming out of your mouth. I'm going now. I'm going to go now. I know it sounds a bit cryptic, but it was actually a work colleague that was really drunk,
Hmm.
and it was really inappropriate because it was the charity was for to do with drug and alcohol awareness.
Yeah.
Anyway, point is that I felt really raw, felt quite exposed, um, and I can see really clearly with hindsight that I was feeling very raw, very exposed. Um, yes, I felt really empowered and very serene before I went into it. But being in the mix with a lot of unconscious behavior that is disingenuous and dishonest, it's not true.
Mm,
It's very unauthentic. And that's not a judgment. It just is what it is. I keep saying that. It is what it is. It's really hard to have authenticity when there's no consciousness.
yeah.
Um, it felt really discombobulating to me, and I had to get the hell out of there. And I had to actually call time on me actually going back to doing my duties. Now, I'm not saying that you need to pull the ripcord and get the hell out of your working environment, but I don't know if that resonates what I'm saying with how you feel. I don't know.
I'm finding it very hard to keep that serenity, to keep that calmness and peacefulness in an environment where that isn't encouraged. It's like where does that energy come from? Who's giving out that energy? And
What sort of energy is it?
in terms of where I'm at,
Well, it just
yeah,
depends.
it's just it's drama. It's anxiety. It's anger. It's
Stress.
stress. It's all of those things that build up and just make us uh, yeah, make us very unconscious,
Mm,
and put us in a place where we're having we're having conversations, we're using words without thought, and we're not thinking about other people. And
man, this sounds familiar. Say that again.
we're
We
not
u-
thinking.
we're using words without thought, and we're not thinking of other people.
Yeah.
God, that sounds really familiar to to a lot of what's being displayed in the world, all over the
Mm.
place. Go on, keep going.
And I, yeah, I just think it feels very threatening at the moment in the world. It feels yeah, it doesn't feel safe, and it doesn't feel like uh um that there's enough people holding other people, and that's not in a physical sense, that's in a sort of conscious unconscious sort of like, how do I help other people feel safe? and
Mm,
and we do, both, both our our work is about trying to get people into safe places, but it's all about young people.
yeah.
And there's something for me at the moment where we're not looking at adults enough
Yeah,
to
okay.
get adults into safe places.
Yeah, all right.
It's like we're just forgetting
Yeah,
human beings as
yeah,
a thing, and going, okay, well, you're on your own now.
yeah. So getting back to kind of, I think I've already covered this, but in different ways. What's come up for me is that we have for a very long time, we need to change this somehow. We've got to. We've got to. Otherwise, it'll just be, if nothing changes, nothing changes. It'll just continue to perpetuate. Maybe that's what it's meant to do.
Mm,
I won't get into that one, but um, we've got to at some point, and we can't rely on the institutions to do this for us. You know that from the work you do, so do I. We have to take accountability, full autonomy to kickstart this process on our own. We can't rely on other people. We are not going to get saved people, all right? No one is going to bail us out on this one. We have to just take the bull by the horns and do the work ourselves and take accountability for that. Okay, what are you waiting for? Let's go. It's go time. All right. And what I mean by this is that when I was little, when I was a little boy, I was told that if I go to school and get my head down and do all what I'm told to do and get the right grades, I could get a job and then I'll get a house and then I'll get everything I need and I'm set for life, right? That's my that's my infantile voice. That sound good,
Yeah.
right? Now, I gave that a good shot as best as I could with what I was given, but I fell short. I was fucking way out of my depth for that one, man, and it all fell apart, right? So I had to figure it out, right? And what I really needed was not that. I mean, yeah, some of that might help, but what I really needed was to understand how to operate as a human being, right? Now, we wouldn't be having this conversation about how adults are just giant man babies, because that's what it is.
Hmm.
You're saying, it don't matter whether you're, look, take age out of it. Take what you look like out of it, what skin color you've got, what freaking where you're born, it don't matter, right? If you've got a heart that's pumping away in your body and you've got some snot that comes out your nose sometimes when you've got the lurgs, right? You get a bit of earwax and your poo's brown and it stinks like everyone else's, right? Then you're probably gonna feel some emotions and think some thoughts, just like little Johnny, who's 7 or 12 or 16 or 18. Don't matter. These whole old people, man babies, lady babies.
Lady babies. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Never heard that term before.
No, I think you've just invented a term. It's beautiful.
Lady babies.
Hmm.
Right. So, am I making sense?
Yeah, no, it's
Right.
totally
Yeah.
what I mean in terms of
So
yeah.
just quickly to add, right, and
Mm.
finish. So point is, I always bang on about it. I'm not going to go into it, but I was 34, man, baby. Never had the skills. Didn't develop them. Now my mum and dad instilled some good shit, but I didn't use any of it, and I was told get good grades. Parents even it's too much fucking focus on being intellectualized. Don't get you anywhere. It's just knowledge. It's fucking useless. It's just information. I need more than that. We need more than that. It won't get you where you need to get to, people. All right. I needed to learn and I had to do it at 34. And no one was going to save me. That's what I thought. That was the problem. I thought, if I can just get to this point, then everything will be all right. Never happened. I had to work it out the hard way that, oh, okay, I get it. I've got to save me in this situation. I need to educate myself. Not on the square root of fucking 64. What is the square root of 64? 8 or 6?
Eight.
Oh, 8.
Here's eight.
Did learn. Never used it, really, in the grand scheme of things. I need to be educated. I need to be educated. I need to be educated on why do I feel this way? Why am I
Yeah.
thinking like this? Why, I need to learn about critical thinking. I need to learn about, you know, now honesty, let's bring honesty back into it and dishonesty. You know, I feel like I was living a lie for many years. And for many years, I feel like I've been living my truth.
Hmm.
I've got both experiences, two sides of the coin of my life experience. You know, I've lived my life in a really dishonest, disingenuous, unauthentic way. And I now live my life in truth. Very polar opposites of experience. And one was without the skills and depth of knowledge and understanding of emotional intellect.
Yeah.
Didn't have it. I had to learn, started at 34, been studying ever since. Life is very different because of it. So I feel like what you've been touching on, Ben, is it don't matter how old you are. Just because you're an old dude, you got all these like I've got to be careful what I say here. But you got all these elders that are meant to be guiding us because they're elders. Really? Not sure. Not sure is what I'm going to say to that. Not sure. I'm not sure. Now, you look at elders in indigenous tribes, I would I'd feel quite confident to walk into any Amazonian or, where it don't matter where it is. I'd walk into a community as long as they weren't cannibals. I'd feel quite at ease knowing that the elders have got us, that they've got it, that they're wise and that they're genuine and honest and they're coming from a place of truth because their spiritual um, um, dial is dialed into Spinal Tap 11. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then you go into certain situations and like the one you're in, and is that the case? I don't know. And then you go out into the world, and we rely on all these elders. But so what if they've got a load of knowledge and intellect and they can spout out all these numbers and all these clever words and things and blah blah blah. Doesn't mean anything if they're not coming from a place of honesty and it's got some truth and authenticity to it and integrity to it. Just means nothing.
Mm.
Anyway, I've just gone into one with that.
No, and I think that's what's really resonating at the moment is how many people have actually found their truth and have found their honesty, and it just feels, yeah, I don't think that journey ever stops. Definitely hasn't for me, and I feel like I have started, but it's going to keep going, and it's going to be, that ability to be humble, to be reflective, to be self-aware, and like I'm still fighting it. Yeah, I think fighting it is the right word. I'm still, the fact that my shoulder's now doing what it's doing, I think it is. It's a battle. Like it's a battle with myself where I'm like, right, what am I actually feeling? What is my what is my purpose and my ultimate goal? Like where should I be? And
The hospital,
the hospital, yeah, some
a care
special
home, a care
special
home,
home, yeah, yeah,
care home. We'll be doing this from a care home.
yeah.
They'll be like, "Oh, hang on, Mr. Noble, I've just got to spoon feed him some soup."
And I just, it's really difficult being with people who aren't willing to look at themselves.
Mm,
And when you're in a situation where you're surrounded by people who are willing to do that work, whose energy is the same as yours, it's like the resonance, the hum, you come away from that feeling emboldened, and you feel alive, you feel like that, you feel sort of on top of the world.
mm,
And when you're not, you realize quite how much that energy just drains you and
yeah,
takes away. And it's just like,
yeah.
this isn't nourishing in any shape or form. And you can't fight it. I mean, I saw a video, and I think I talked to you about this before, but I saw a video by Daniel Pink, which was something like 40 things I wish I knew at 21.
Who's Daniel Pink?
He's written a number of sort of self-help books and things. You would know some of his books because he's written some big ones.
Okay.
But he's like a sort of self-help, positive thinker type person.
Okay.
And
Have you got all his books?
I've definitely got one at least. I mean, I've got every self-help book going. So,
Mhm.
um, and yeah, on this video, it's like 40 things I wish I knew at 21. I didn't get past the first one because the first one was basically don't work with dicks. And it was like, however much you think you can work in an environment that's toxic, or you can work with people that don't have the same energy as you, it will always end up draining you. It'll always take away. You cannot change that place. You cannot change that environment.
Yeah.
And you might go with really good intentions, like I'm going to get, I'm going to change the world. I'm going to make
Mhm.
everyone see my perspective and be better and do the right thing. And it just doesn't work.
Mm.
The institution has got to be, it's got to be working from the top. It's got to
Mm.
be, everyone has got to be aligned value wise.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just becomes
Yeah.
a really difficult place to be because people will always be clashing and always be fighting and always be resentful and
Yeah.
always living in that sort of fear of, things aren't quite right. And it's when you get more attuned and you get more
Good word.
uh yeah, you tune into that frequency of
Yeah.
life,
Yeah.
and you can walk into places and you can go, yeah, this feels right,
Hmm.
or this feels wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think you can change it on your own. You can only control yourself.
Uh-huh.
You can only do what you can do. But to make something really work, you've got to have the people around you
Absolutely.
that are connected to what you're connected to.
100 trillion gazillion percent.
Yeah.
We'll probably have the first gazillion through in the next year or so. Do you reckon?
What gazillionaire?
Yeah. Is that a thing? Gazillion? We'll have the first trillionaire soon.
Yeah.
That'll happen. So stick with the winners,
Stick with the winners.
as they say. Stick with the winners. It's not all about winning, so maybe that's the wrong term to use. Stick with like minds.
Yeah.
Stick with like minds, man. I have worked for myself for quite some time. There's a reason for that. Okay, I'm a gun for hire. I'm a lone wolf, and I collaborate with people because the great thing about collaborating with people is I can kind of get a groove of whether they're, you know, where they're at. And
Hmm.
people wear masks, so we've already done that one. If you've not listened to it, go back to a few episodes. Letter M for masking. Um, yeah, I mean the mask always slips, man. People when you're bubbling on a certain frequency, when you're fizzing, when you're fizzy, right? People know you're fizzy. There's something they're like, oh, that guy's fizzy, or she's fizzy. There's something about her that's just really great, right? And you emulate this sort of like authenticity. It's like a superpower. It really
Hmm.
is. It's like you just emulate. You just give off this, aura, which it is. That's what it is. You give off this aura. It's magnetic, right? I've seen that in people. That's why I am where I'm at today, because there was someone, Tony, hello, bro, love you, brother. He emulated that. And I was like, I want that. I want a bit of that. And he was all the things that I became, you know. You want what they've got, go and get it. Now that can work two ways. Cool, yeah, I want their Lambo, you know. I want them shoes. Yeah, I love the way he walks. Oh, he's got swagger, man. Look at him, he's so Gucci. There are other brands of well-being. Um, but like, I want what they've got. Now, for some people, that's the rock star, the film
Yeah.
star, the racing car driver. Could be I don't know, the champion fly fisher. I don't know. But I want what they've got, right? The ballerina. You know, I want what they've got. There's something quite alluring and attractive, right? And you lean into that, right? And you chase that, right?
Yeah.
But then on the same in the same way of putting it like that, you know, if you flip it, it depends where you're at. What do you want, people? You know, what do you want? You know, what is it you're trying to achieve in your life? I just want to be happy, right? I want bundles of contentment, right? So where do I get that? And who's got it? And what sort of people emulate it and look really at ease and at peace and are just happy, you know? I want that. I want to be around those sort of people. Now, when you've got that, when you behold those qualities, people come to you. Some of them might be broken, some of them people that come to you. Some of them might be trying to save themselves and they're looking to be saved and they'll come to you. Yeah. There's lots of different people that will be attracted to that pheromone that you give off, literally, right? Now, some of them will try and present that they're where you're at, and you might roll with that for a bit, but the mask will always slip. So that's where discernment comes in, you know. And this is for me working. I'm not just talking about work, it could be in relations to anything. It could be, romance, it could be friendship, work colleagues. But for me, this is why I roll on my own and I collaborate with people. Because when I collaborate with people, I can create and maintain a boundary to slowly get to know people from afar. And I can draw them closer into my world as I develop and cultivate a sense of trust and the authenticity remains at a certain level. But I'm telling you now, and I can't do it. I'll never, you know, vilify people or point the finger or say it's them or whoever. But there's certain organizations, certain institutions, certain people, personalities that don't hold up. The principles don't stand up
Yeah.
to where I'm at. That's not me being on my moral high ground. It's just there's a certain level. I mean, people, all you got to do is go, what do I want? What is my standard, my non-negotiable?
Mm,
I want people to, I need trust. I need to trust people. So that's a level of honesty. I can't tolerate dishonesty,
yeah.
right? I can't. It's not going to work. That's fucked it already, all right? I need respect as I would want to give respect back. So it's got to be reciprocated. It's got to be a level of that. Um, Kindness, yeah. All of that good stuff, man. Loyalty,
Mm,
yeah. It's
yeah.
hard. It's hard to find.
It is.
Got to stick with like-minded people, man, and it's hard to find them. And some of the ones that you think, and some of these people might be your work colleagues, or some of them might be family. You know what I mean? But it's like it all comes down to boundaries.
Yeah. And I mean, what's coming up for me is that I know in the past when I've met people and it's like that sort of, oh, they're the shiniest new thing in town. And this goes for friendships and romantic relationships, it goes for all kinds of relationships. And there's a rush, like a race to be with that person, to be in that person's sort of space and aura. And to do that, I will give so much of myself in a very short period of time. It's almost like, and then the relationship burns out
Mm,
because it's like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to give them everything really, really quickly so they like me. And I'm going to live a relationship in like space 2 weeks. And then after 2 weeks, it's like, I've got nothing left. There's nothing. I don't know
mm,
what else to do now.
mm,
And quite often, because you've gone in, or sorry, I've gone in a way that is blind, that is like I'm just intoxicated by this human being,
Mm,
I haven't given time or space to actually understand their truth and where they're coming from. And I think it's not about being cautious, and it's not about not giving yourself or being mistrusting, but it's just understanding a for me a healthy way to interact with other human beings is to build over time. Nothing
mm,
good comes from doing things quickly. Nothing sustaining or with sustenance comes from rushing in, and you know all the flaws, all the bits of pieces of people's lives that you gloss over in a rush to sort of get to that point where you think, yeah, we're connected now. And I think, yeah, I think that's what I'm learning, because I think at times I still can be very like I'm just gonna say whatever's in my head, and I'm gonna get I'm gonna do everything. And I've had romantic relationships where they don't last because you have like a 24-hour phone conversation, or you go on a date and don't come back for 3 days. It's like I've lived the relationship now. It's done. It's that's not healthy.
mm.
And I've got to give myself some boundary, to give myself that, like, stop trying to fast forward everything, stop trying to do everything in
Yeah,
in in like at the speed of light. You've got to take your time, and you've got to be honest with what you actually want and what you actually need. Because I know ultimately I don't want a relationship with anybody that encroaches on my time 24/7.
yeah,
So if I'm giving that to someone straight away, it's always going to come back and bite me on the ass, because
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
know I'm going to need a relationship where I'm going to need 24 hours to myself. I'm sorry. I just need, I'm burnt out, and I'm going to need some time to just be on my own.
24 hours ain't enough, man,
No,
for
no,
me. I need
no.
24 days, mate.
I need to go into the desert for 40 days and 40 nights.
Yeah,
And
we're gonna do 40 days on, 40 days off, all right?
yeah,
And we're
yeah.
gonna live in separate houses, all right? And that's how it is, okay? If you're down with that, we're on.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'm kind of sort of half joking but half serious with that.
But that's not just romantic either. Like
Yeah,
it's
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 people
it's
in general, man.
people in general. I mean, there's lots of people have lots of
I
love for, but I
I
can't spend all my time with them all the time. It's
I
just doesn't
just
work.
I just can't help but feel that we're living. I've just got dishonest in the. I'm loving this, right? I've just got dishonest up in the book of words, just to, I always try and get a book of words out of everyone, and it says it's a no-brainer, right? So dishonest is not honest,
Hmm.
not trustworthy, or or being insincere,
Yeah.
insincere, not sincere. So look, sincerity. I like that word. Right now, what you used to saying there about all that, right? It's like I'm giggling. It's touched me because I'm with you on it, totally, 100%. Right, totally. Um, I can't help but think that, and I always bring it back to this, and I always get on one about it, and I'll continue to do it until it changes. Um, I can't help but think that we are. I get it. We've got to evolve, right? It's the natural order of all life is we evolve, right? However, do
Hmm.
trees evolve?
What, turn into different trees,
Yeah.
or has the oak tree always been the oak tree?
Yeah, this is what I feel like I've just had this download, right, as I'm trying to
Okay.
make this point. Because this is something that is valid. Do you think animals evolve? The
Yes,
ducks evolve,
ducks haven't always been ducks.
right?
Yeah.
What were
I,
they?
I don't know. Not
Oh,
ducks.
I need you to
Amoebas.
I need you to back me up with something here. No, but
Well,
like,
like that's evolution. That's like
yeah,
the
but
animals evolve into different, like whatever they need, the sort of survival of the fittest, isn't it? So
okay.
the things that make you uh yeah, that make you get more food and live longer or
All
live
right.
well, are what sort of transfers in the genetics, isn't it?
All right. So like, okay, look, I did go to school, but I've been very honest, I didn't really pay attention. So I may sound a little bit uneducated, so please forgive me, but I'm not stupid. So I'm trying to just figure it out, right? What my point is that sharks, crocodiles, all that sort of those those creatures, right?
Yeah.
I'm second guessing what I'm saying now because I've got a head teacher judging me on every word now.
No.
Um, and I really do feel like I'm back in the classroom right now. So, and sharks and crocodiles and all of those sort of creatures, they've not really evolved over the thousands and thousands of years that they've been on this planet, or longer, have they?
What? As in, well, yeah, they were probably, yeah, they were a lot bigger. Like there's
Okay.
dinosaurs that were like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times the size.
All right, look, so my point is that I I don't think we're meant to be living this way, is my point as
Right.
humans, right? Now,
Okay.
in the grand scheme of things, have animals and trees and all living things on this planet really evolved and changed dramatically like we have in recent years? Let's just say in the last 20 years.
Mm, okay. What
Because we
it?
have.
Yeah.
I believe we have. I think the way we live our lives is completely accelerated beyond belief within the last 20 years. Now, some young people won't really understand this because it's always been this way. But for us crooners, we've seen it change quite dramatically in the last 20 years, right? Now, my point is that I just don't think we're living in an honest way. That's my point. And I think, is it any surprise that, we struggle to have a human experience?
Because we don't know what that human experience is anymore.
Yeah, we're lost a little
Yeah.
bit. We're
Yeah.
feeling a little bit lost. We don't know what the truth is in a lot of areas of life. I don't know what my truth is. I do know what my truth is. I'm talking like past tense. Like the old me living in the future right now, in present would be like, I don't know who I am. I'm lost. I don't know what my truth is. Right? And the world that I'm living in, it feels like that. Feels very uncertain.
It feels like we're evolving from an analog experience into a digital experience,
Yeah,
into
we
a,
are.
a virtual experience.
Totally.
And that means we lose all that tactile, face to face touch humanity that we get from a community that actually meets in a local hall and dances together or sits and eats and drinks together. We're losing that. And we
Yeah.
now exist in a world where we're talking about, yeah, not ever really connecting.
Yeah. Right. Now bringing back the animals and the trees and that, right? I'm not just some lunatics trying to, like, my point is that that's happened over quite a short span of time, our evolution, what you just said, right?
Yeah.
Now with animals, nothing's changed. Trees, nothing's changed. They're still just doing the same thing, right? Of how they've always been. They're not feeling the way we do,
Mm.
surely. Do you not think?
Well, like crocodiles aren't getting on the internet.
No, it's in like they're just they're just doing their thing
Yeah.
as they're meant to be,
Yeah.
as nature intended.
Yeah.
So, but it feels like people are fucking with that part of our evolution.
Yeah. We're
We're
adding a
making it complicated. We're making it more advanced, but with that comes more complications. But the irony is that they're saying it's going to make everything, it's going to give us more time to do other stuff. That's the whole message that's being spewed on everyone.
yeah, we're entering a space which is unnatural and unorganic.
Yeah.
And yeah, it takes it away from the natural world, doesn't it?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
natural order of stuff.
And there's a segue between what I'm saying and what we've been talking about in this episode, because there's a disingenuous. It doesn't feel very sincere to me.
Okay. Yeah.
That's just my experience. I'm only sharing my truth, my honesty of how I feel within what we're talking about. How does dishonesty relate to me? Now we could have gone really into an obvious conversation with this, which we haven't. We haven't.
No.
We could have gone, so Ben, tell me, what was the last thing you did that was dishonest? I mean, it's not rocket science. I feel like that's obvious. We could reel off a whole, you know, catalogue of stories of how we've been dishonest in our lives. It's an obvious one. And it's like, I think I've captured it. Not me captured it, but we've captured it. But I captured it with just the term consciousness, unconsciousness, conscious, unconscious, honest, dishonest, conscious, unconscious. It's that simple. If you're unconscious in life, you're probably more likely to be doing more things that aren't necessarily honest to or true to what you want to be. You're not living your true nature if you're unconscious. Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a like a an epidemic of sadness and loneliness. And I think if people really reflect on that, like the honest truth is that we aren't doing what makes us feel good.
There we go.
And that's, and that is about connecting as human beings and
Mm,
actually having experiences where we do build a shared wisdom as opposed to a virtual wisdom. You
mm.
can't go and work out, how do I feel about this? Oh, I'm just going to search Wikipedia. It doesn't work like that.
Or now it's not even that. It's the, I'm not going to name it. And some places are banning it. I know that. I think some schools are trying to ban it. And I know a lot of households and parents are banning it because I've come across a few. I'm not going to name it, but the one where you ask your little friend on uh, on your device and
Mm-hmm.
it's not real
Yeah.
because you're handing over, you're relinquishing your own critical thinking and intelligence to something else. To me, that's batshit crazy. But I was with my mate the other day actually, and he uses it a lot for work, and he uses it for everything in his life. And he was showing me how he uses it, and it was very enlightening. I can't wrap my head around it. He swears it's really added to his life, and who am I to question that? It's like, great, if that's what works for you, that's what works for you. I just don't understand it, and it's not my experience. I'm yet to catch up with that in that realm. I'm not sure I ever will, if I'm honest. I don't think I'm gonna ever get into that. But again, to me, that doesn't feel like I'm being very true to who I am. If I'm, it's like I've got to have a. It's almost like there's a codependency to that. For me, that feels quite codependent, having to rely on something else for everything I need to do in my life rather than just relying on my intuition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Intuition, you know?
Depends whether it's a tool or
Mm,
it's a way of living. I think that's always for me. It's like anything that's digital. What's happened is most people get consumed by this digital world. It's like it's switched something where we can't, like the phone is a tool. It's a tool of communication. And in the olden days when we had one of those handsets where you had the
mm,
dial and I need to talk to Dave, so I'm going to call Dave up and I'm going to chat to him for a couple of hours. Now it's like this, the phone means something completely different. Like
mm.
the actual thought of picking a phone up and calling someone, people don't do it that often. It's almost become something completely different. And I just think that's the issue, is when we stop looking at them as tools and what can we do with them. The same as fire, or the same as an axe. All of these, all of these different things that had, changed the way that humans lived in the world. It wasn't then that became everything. It
Mm.
wasn't that consumed people to the point that it is now. And that's the problem, I think. Is if it's still a tool rather than something that consumes you and takes over any form of interaction. Does
Well,
that
that
make
is,
sense?
yeah, totally. And that's a really good one. It's an interesting one. I'd love people to take that away from this. That's it for me. That's a great one. Is, what does that mean to me? How do I relate to that? I mean, I know
Yeah.
what it is for me. I see it as an accessory that I can
Yeah.
put on, pick up, put down.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm not defined by it. I don't live my life within it. That's it.
Yeah.
I can totally do without. Thank you very much. And
Yeah.
one day maybe I will completely. Um, but then there's, I know because I have to work with a lot of it. For some people, they are completely enmeshed, entangled, and it's part of who they are.
Yeah.
They can't function without it.
No.
And that's pretty fucked if you really think about it. Anyway, do you think we've gone really kind of totally off
Yeah.
topic with this?
Um,
Dishonest. You chose dishonest.
yeah.
Do you
Where
feel
did
like,
I started with dishonesty, didn't I, in terms of adults interacting and not being honest with themselves,
and now
in
we've
terms of,
ended up with talking about, we always seem to end up back this place. Maybe I steer it that way, but I always bring it in because for me, intuition, authenticity, true nature of being, you know, if you're really happy and you don't have any anxiety in your life and you can sleep like a baby, not a baby that's like snotting and crying and I can't get rid of the snot thing.
no, yeah, that's,
Um, anyone that has been listening knows that probably for me now that I latch on to things. It's one of my isms. Until I want to put it down. I'm playing with it. Yeah, but I mean like a baby that's to sleep soundly all night,
mhm.
every night, unless you have that contentment in your life, then everything we talk about's got a huge amount of relevance
Yeah, yeah,
because it does, in my opinion. It really does. Because I work with a lot of it. You know, when you extract people, I'll go back to what I was saying, when you extract people out of their the insanity of the world that they live in, which might have some serenity as well, but let's just run with the insanity of the world that they live in. And whatever that is, it could be different for other people how they see insanity. It could be just, you know, life is quite overwhelming and there's a lot going on and it just feels quite overwhelming, right? And if that's your insanity, that's your insanity. But when you extract yourself out of that and you put yourself into a safe dwelling of solitude and self-reflection, and I really hope and I encourage people to do it if they can in their life, to do that, to go and do that. And whatever that means to them, that's what it means to you. And whatever that looks like, that's what it looks like. For some people, they need to go traveling for a year to do that. I don't know. For some people, it might just be, I need to go on retreat for a week. For some people, it's a health spa for a weekend, whatever. For some people, it might be, I just need to go to my garage and tinker with my toolkit and other things. For some people, it might be, I need to go up in the loft, in the attic, and just hide from the family and, you know, pretend I'm doing something. Whatever. But when you extract yourself out of the chaos and you put yourself into a place of stillness. Only then do you know whether that's firstly helping you. You know, that there's that contrast that, God, my life is so fucking chaotic and overwhelming. I need to extract myself out of it and put myself into a calmer place. That's connecting to truth. That's connecting to your reality. That's taking accountability for what's really going on. Are you doing that? Are you getting that space, that time that we need? Are we getting it? Or am I stuck and feeling really overwhelmed and anxious? You know, is there a level of um, dishonesty to how I'm living my life? Am I living my truth? Is this
Mm.
my lot? Are you just at a point where you're just like, oh, but this is just what it is, you know? I live with anxiety. I live with chaos. I live with drama. I live with, um, sadness
Pain.
and pain
Mm.
and stress and a feeling of lack, right? And I just have to endure it. Or do you somehow get honest about it and get honest with yourself, saying, well, no, this isn't my lot. I don't have to live like this. Maybe I'm choosing to live like this, right? You've made some choices there. You've decided to have kids. You've decided to get married, right? To someone that you might not like that much, but you've decided to do it. Maybe. You've decided to have 6 kids, right? That's your choice. Conscious or unconscious, you've done it, right? And you've decided to get that fat mortgage on the house and the 4 cars on your drive and all of that stuff and the credit cards and it's your choice to go and hemorrhage loads of money for Christmas you can't afford. So at what point do you just snap out of this fucking delusion, take some accountability and start to work through, you know, how can I function better? Do I need to do I need to look at some stuff? That was just one scenario I'm going through. It doesn't mean that it's actually happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. No, I think there's as well as feeling unsafe and vulnerable in terms of going back to work. The other thing, and I think I talked about this last week or the week before, but it's we end up repeating patterns. We end up getting stuck in cycles because uh, because we think that's what we should do.
Mm.
And I think what you've just sort of outlined there or raised as a point is that we don't have to. We don't have to be what we think other people want us to be. We can we can find a truth. We can find a way through it that feels more honest. And that doesn't mean we don't have kids or we don't get married or we don't get the car or whatever. I
Yeah,
just think
I'm not saying that.
no,
I'm not trying to say that all of that's bad.
no,
That wasn't my point.
no. But I just think that is the pattern of life. And I just think there are ways of working through those patterns that give us more clarity and give us more self-awareness and just make us feel better about ourselves.
Yeah, yeah,
um yeah, I think that's how I feel.
cool. All right, man. Well, look, I feel like we're at the end.
Yeah.
I can't be asked to carry on.
That's where we've got to today. We're all just given up.
I just can't be asked to keep going on. I feel like I'm bored of me rant. Like I kind of get bored of my own freaking what comes out of my mouth sometimes. Oh God, what am I going on about? So if I've triggered anyone, if I've offended anyone, I'm sorry. I'm human. I'm fallible. I don't always get it right. I'm not an expert. I'm not a professional. I'm not anything that you think I may be. I'm just some geezer who used to sell some dodgy photocopiers. He's done a bit of work and has decided to record some discussions with Mr. Rice for the greater good, in the hope that someone somewhere might disconnect to maybe one part of what we're talking about, and it can really help them. Because ultimately, we're doing this coming from a place of um, love,
Yeah,
and that is the Velvet Revolution.
yeah.
It's with love that I say the things I say, believe it or not. So thank you for allow me to be of service today, Mr. Rice.
Thank you, Mr. Noble. It's a pleasure as ever.
How'd you feel it went anyway?
Yeah, that was cathartic. I
Oh,
think I
really?
needed to talk through some of that
Okay.
stuff, and yeah, feels
Right.
feels good.
Well, I'll send you an invoice after.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm joking. Right, man. Take it easy. I hope your body loosens up and you feel a bit more comfort within your body.
Thank you.
All right, and I'll see you on the
Yeah.
next one.
Yeah, you have a good week. I'll speak soon. Take care.
See you later, man. Bye.
Bye.